Exciting new weapons were data mined in Battlefield 2042. Cheating in Call of Duty has reached absurd heights. Google finally killed Stadia, and much more on Today in Gaming. Dataminer Temporyal has discovered several new guns hidden in Battlefield 2042's latest update. DICE will likely add these guns to Portal mode at some point down the road. They include Battlefield 3's MTAR-21, SKS, ARC A3, and RPK-74M. 4 new guns from Bad Company 2 are also in the game files: the RPK, VSS, the STG-77 AUG, and the Sten. DICE recently confirmed every future update for Battlefield 2042 will include new vault weapons carried over from Portal mode for the rest of the game, so it seems pretty likely that all these data mine guns will eventually make their way to all-out warfare. Temporyal also discovered an unreleased legendary skin bundle called Hellion. It includes skins for the M5A3, AM40, the RAM, and NTW50. Speculation suggests that these skins will be included in the upcoming Liquidators event as a mid-season update. This event will likely activate the locked weapon crates players discovered leading up to the Season 2 launch on select maps. As for the unannounced changes in the 2.1 update, several have been shared on Reddit. The sounds for headshots, multi-kills, squad spawns, and toggling weapon lasers have been updated. Weapon fire randomly stuttering seems to have been fixed. The M16A3's LVG blast radius and damage has been nerfed. The bug cosmetics like weapon charms have been fixed. Liz's rockets now has a much more visible red glow when fired. Secret reloads have also been added for the M16A3 and the M416. Infinity Ward released a blog post detailing their plans for changes and updates to Modern Warfare 2 ahead of launch. The post is a reaction to player feedback regarding several issues discovered in the betas for the game that just concluded this past weekend. Footstep audio will be tuned more before launch. Enemy visibility will be tweaked in several ways. These include specific lighting for soldier character models and color changes to make players stand out more from the environment. Infinity Ward says they're working on lessening the amount of lobby disbanding that happens between matches. In a nutshell, Modern Warfare 2 shuffles lobbies between matches. This ensures that each lobby has a unique roster of players to avoid one-sided matches. Most developers do this now, but it seems a bit overkill in the beta. AI soldiers are getting improved behavior to make them less useless and less likely to get stuck in doorways. And finally, the devs are working on tuning weapons to ensure the game launches with a decent balance between all options. Now, as for cheaters, Activision is continuing to pursue legal action against Engine Owning, a predominant cheat distributor for Call of Duty titles. New filings in the ongoing cases identify the site's owners and demand the court require Engine Owning to cease their operations and hand over all earnings to Activision. However, Activision's anti-cheat endeavor hasn't satisfied the community. Competitive Call of Duty player Censor claims to have a list of cheaters who downloaded hacks. This list supposedly comes directly from the cheat provider. He hasn't released the complete list yet, but a prominent player in the community, Nadia, is apparently on it. It's tough to say how genuine this information is or what will happen if the full list is released. Ultimately, it's up to Activision to catch and ban cheaters. If high-profile players are cheating and evading bans, it could further erode the franchise's already precarious position as an esports title. Cheaters have tainted nearly every major Call of Duty event in recent memory. Google has officially killed their Stadia game streaming service. Everyone that paid for Stadia hardware and games will get a full refund. Google says the service didn't get the traction that they expected despite the platform's robust technology. Over the past year, Google shuttered their Stadia game studio and opened their game streaming tech for other developers to license. It seemed like Google was on track to shut the service down eventually. Users will have until January 18th, 2023 to access and play their Stadia titles. After that, the service will be offline. It's unclear how the shutdown will affect any developers currently using Stadia's technology. Intel made several announcements over the past couple of days. First, they revealed the 13th generation Raptor Lake CPUs. They're launching on October 20th, with Intel claiming a 41% performance improvement over their current gen CPUs. Unfortunately, Intel's announcement didn't include performance comparisons with AMD's newly revealed Ryzen 7000 series processors. Their benchmark data also had some oddities, like competing test builds running slower RAM than Intel's 13th gen systems. Intel also announced pricing and availability for their ARC A770 GPU. It launches on October 12th for $329. It competes directly with NVIDIA's RTX 3060, but offers some key improvements over that GPU, like AV1 video encoding, AI upscaling that rivals NVIDIA's DLSS, new software solutions to mitigate screen tearing, and more. It is tough to say how popular the A770 will be, since Intel says performance in games that use older graphics APIs will be slower than other GPUs. Cyberpunk 2077 has sold over 20 million units thanks to a recent resurgence spurred by the recent update and Edgerunners Anime released on Netflix. For comparison, the developer's previous title, Witcher 3, took 4 years to hit this milestone. Cyberpunk has been out for less than 2 years and had a devastatingly buggy launch thanks to missing features, awful performance on some platforms, and too many bugs to count. Since its launch, Cyberpunk has gotten several significant updates that dramatically improved every aspect of the experience. Those updates and reviewed attention brought to the game by the Edgerunners show have helped restore hype for the game to some extent. Leaks suggest the developers are working on additional DLC and even multiple sequels to the game. The Dead Space remake will be played in a single continuous shot. The developers say from the moment that you start the game to the very end, there won't be a single camera cut or loading screen unless you die. The ship that the game is set on has also been slightly redesigned so that every location is interconnected. As you play, you'll unlock new areas to explore, but you'll also be able to revisit any past location. The remake launches on January 27th for the PC and console. Leaks suggest that the next Need for Speed game could be revealed very soon. It's allegedly called Need for Speed Unbound, with a December 2nd release date. This title was initially intended to launch in 2021, but was delayed so that the studio involved could support the release of Battlefield 2042. Before we get to our next story today, let us know what you think about Battlefield 2042's latest update. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and while you're down there, consider subscribing or even becoming a channel member. Both are great ways to support our videos, and channel members get exclusive emotes plus a name badge. Upcoming horror FPS Scorn had its launch date moved up 1 week from October 21st to the 14th. The game has been highly anticipated for several years thanks to its unique visuals and haunting atmosphere. Early previews based on the launch build of the game suggest that it starts with a meandering but engrossing introduction. Story details and deeper gameplay mechanics were withheld from the preview, so it's tough to gauge the full experience. Scorn has been a long time coming. It was initially announced way back in 2014. Now, if you're curious how Modern Warfare 2 beta went for me, check out my first impressions video next. It's a deep dive into my experience with the beta and what I hope Infinity Ward have planned for Warzone 2. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.